Pirate Software. You know him? No, you don't love him. You hate him. Everyone hates him. No one with a decent head on their shoulders would ever back this very interesting guy and his dumbass takes. Like I said, he doesn't really need an introduction. I and many other YouTubers have talked about him. As a matter of fact, about 2 weeks ago, I made a video called, well, I don't know if I could read it right now, but if you're looking at your screen, I said what I said. And I was reading the comments, and some of you were letting me know that he actually uses a voice filter to make his voice even deeper. And in case you guys don't believe me, here's footage of him with his real voice.
How's your show been so far?
It's actually been amazing. It's our first time out here at Denver Comic Con, and there's so many people, and they love the games, so it's been awesome.
So not only is he a pretty shitty person, he also fakes his voice. I don't know what's more pathetic, him wanting to stop and destroy the whole Stop Killing Games things and making sure it doesn't reach its required signatures, or him using a filter to make his voice deeper. Which one's worse, guys? I don't know. If you ask me, truth be told, I think it's a lot cringier to spend money for a voice filter so you can make your voice deeper. It's sad. It's sad. But you know what? He does seem like the type of guy to do that kind of shit. I wouldn't be making this video if I didn't think it was important or at least worth talking about, because I hate wasting my time, and by extension, I hate wasting your time. This video got recommended to me. Pirate Software just got caught by this YouTuber. Shout out to him. He's been talking about Pirate Software a lot. He's milking the F out of it, and I respect it. I would do it too. If I was getting millions of views, I would do it too, and I've done it before. So Quintio, God bless you. Shout out to you, and keep milking it. Honestly, anyone would. I would too. And if anyone says, I will never milk, I have integrity, when you're getting thousands of dollars, 10, 20, 30 thousands of dollars, are you gonna say no to that? But I digress. Let's just get into it. And guys, it's bad. I mean, it's good for us, but it's bad for him. He got caught. Hopefully he gets banned. No spoilers. Okay, I'm gonna stop yapping. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, drop a like, and turn on notifications, or I will cry.
When somebody in my Discord, shout out to CK, ends up sending in a screenshot of this tweet. This tweet comes from Guy, and they say Pirate Software accidentally revealed his DMs with Kronos during the April 1st Twitch Giga Train, showing that they were boosting it themselves. This is why the stream is unavailable to watch. And here we have this screenshot. I want to make it clear at this point, this is the only thing that we have in regard to this situation. So
I know that it's allegedly, but would I be surprised if everything about this guy is fake, including this? No, I wouldn't. Once again, I know it's all allegedly, but I mean, as the video goes on, it's like, it's not a very good look if you ask me. And I love that his career and his life is falling apart, all because he couldn't be like, yeah, I fucked up, my bad, I probably shouldn't be saying that. Oh, I shouldn't be against this. Now people are going back and finding shit about him. The internet doesn't forget, for better or for worse.
let's take a look at that screenshot. Now in this screenshot, it is Pirate wearing a banana costume, or excuse me, a long lemon. And he's on Discord here, and it looks like he must have accidentally pulled up this Discord interaction that he was having with Kronos. That's his lead moderator. Reading off the messages here, the first one from Kronos is, Pirate responds, let me know if you do. Bits is going to be the best way to do it due to the return if you need to save it. Kronos says, bits rather than tier 3s? Pirate responds, tier 3s might be better, don't know.
Now, in case you guys don't know, this is all Twitch talk. I'm not too familiar with Twitch, but if I'm not mistaken, this translates to money. And what is essentially going on here, allegedly, is fraud, because you're asking someone to boost you up with bits, tier 1, tier 2, or tier 3 subscriptions to break a record. Come on, please. Why are people like this?
This is 82% return when you buy them in bulk. Have you bought any yet? Kronos says, I've done 100 tier 1s on my personal, ready to do 40 tier 3s on an alt, can do bits instead or both. Then Kronos says, did 50k bits at 20 seconds left. Pirate says, okay, what is the alt account? Kronos replies, serendipitous bean, where's the beef? And then below that, he says, didn't mention this to the mods either. Now the challenge is to clear the queue. So that's a lot to throw at you at once, and we're going to pick it apart as we go over this video, but what is going on here? Now to preempt this, some people might know that Twitch uses this thing called a hype train. Essentially, the more you get donations or gifts in a short amount of time, it raises the level of this hype train. And when you pass certain benchmarks, people unlock things. For instance, last year on April 1st, back in 2024, Twitch's hype train record smashed again by Pirate Software. And they go into detail about Pirate breaking the Twitch Hype Train world record, with his channel reaching level 106 on April 1st. Once the Hype Train was initiated, it took Hall roughly 3 hours to beat his previous level 55 world record from December, with viewers contributing 54,380 gifted subs alongside regular subscriptions and 8.2 million bits.
Very interesting. Why would you do this? Once again, it's just like, if you're doing well, why do this? It just doesn't make any sense. Why fake boost the numbers just so you can break a record that will be broken either way? It's just like, it's so stupid. I don't see the appeal of it. It's like, oh, you know, you could just bot more subscribers. It's like, well, one can, but they're not real people. And the same thing applies here. It's like, you had a good thing going. You had thousands of people that were donating. You were making a very handsome amount of money, right? 100K, over 100K, and your greedy ass just wanted a little more, just a little more. I mean, once again, if it is real, it really does show you the type of guy Mr. Thor was, Mr. Hall, if you will. I already hated the guy. If this is real, it just makes me hate him more. If this is fake, I'm still gonna dislike him for being a pretentious douchebag who thinks he knows it all because he worked at what, fucking Activision, cleaning the fucking toilets. Okay, good for you, I guess.
And this is what Pirate Software had to say when they found out their record was broken.
So Vedal broke the Hype Train record. Vedal's record is now level 111, and that's wild. I think that's freaking incredible, to be honest with you. With help from Valorant, I mean, yeah. So during that Hype Train, they got an extra 19,000 subs from Valorant, which is wild, like absolutely wild. So I think they ended up with something like 80,000 subs. Our Hype Train was 54,000 subs, but you guys had given 8 million bits, and that was kind of the difference between the two. No, there's no cheating. No, don't try to diminish what they did at all. I think Vedal is an amazing content creator. I think Neurosam is cool as shit.
What a nice guy. I know my fans are like, well, you know, your record got broken by this other guy, so I'm pretty sure he cheated. Shout out to Pirate Software for being a real one. Honestly, just being like, nah, guys, I don't think he cheated. I mean, I would know a thing or two about cheating, but I don't think he did it.
Specific part about cheating. What do you think that Pirate means by that cheating? He said, no, let's not take that away. I don't think there was cheating. Don't diminish that. I would assume that cheating in terms of building up a hype train would maybe be to artificially inflate it yourself, by chance coordinating with a mod of yours, maybe your head mod, to keep a hype train alive. I would say that myself. Could be wrong, interested to hear what you guys think, but let's continue on. And to make it clear, we're not contesting his 106 level hype train that happened back in April of 2024. I have no reason to believe that there were any shenanigans involved with his 106 world record breaking one, as I don't have any evidence of that. And regardless of your understanding of his pattern of behavior, anything like that, I'm not making that allegation myself. I'm not saying anything about that specific achievement. We're talking about this year, April 1st, 2025. Now, I think one of the most important...
So he might have potentially gotten away with it the first time. This is just what if, okay? I'm not saying he did, right? Him doing it this year, after all the controversy, is a very interesting move. Once again, I get it. You want to break records and big number equals cool and, all of this other stuff, right? I completely get that. But it's like, it's always funny to see people that have a good thing going for themselves get into situations like this. It's always the people that bite more than they could actually chew that get completely fucking wrecked. And this is yet again another example. I mean, this is like, what, his second or third fuck up? The first one, it's when he was playing League of Legends and accused someone of doing something I don't really remember that made him look really bad. And then you have this, and then you have the whole, I am anti the gamers, so I'm gonna side with him and I'm gonna do everything in my power to stop that. His words, not mine. So it's like, you know what I mean? It's like, he really doesn't look like the nicest guy out there, nor someone that I would enjoy. And on top of that, guys, he's a potential cheater. And on top of that, he fakes his deep voice. That's probably the saddest thing. Fucking faking your deep voice just so you look more Sigma. That's kind of cringe. Kind of cringe, bro. Kind of gay.
Important parts about this is validating that this is a real screenshot. And how are we going to do that? Because as it stands right now, Pirate Software had removed the YouTube VOD, and as well as the Twitch VOD ends up deleting itself after 60 days. And I think we hit that threshold. Now, this leak could be the reason that this ended up getting taken down, this VOD, but there's another potential reason as to why. And it actually comes from that head moderator that you saw in the screenshot, Kronos. Now, I had replied to Guy, and I'm actually going to show you two different ones. The guy actually posted this screenshot in a couple of other places. I said, hey, where were you able to find this? Would like to get some more info on this. And then they replied, it's my own screenshot from the stream, ex-subscriber. And so I said, could you send me a screenshot of where that file is in your folder just so we can see a timestamp of that picture? I know that's weird, but the more info we have, the more we can validate this. And I give my Discord. Well, Kronos replied back, and you guys might recognize this phraseology here. You could have asked me about this one had you reached out. Well, I couldn't reach out to Kronos unless I added him and then he accepted my friend request on Discord, since we don't share a mutual server, which means I can't just message him even if we aren't friends. But he goes on to say, I've spoken about this before, but I guess the truth isn't as compelling. Kronos VII on Discord. VOD was removed to prevent a 2025 repeat of people watching the 2024 video and messaging donators, myself included. Now, I should note that I also said, if you could send me your January comments relating to this, I'd love to have them. Also, sent you a friend request on Discord. That was 12 hours ago. He still has not added me back, still waiting on that response. But I think to remain charitable here, the VOD was removed to prevent a 2025 repeat of people watching the 2024 video and messaging donators. Let's just go with that. Now, Kronos made another reply, and I want to highlight this. He said this before. In January, during the WoW drama, people contacted me and others about donating during the Hype Train record in 2024. This year, I did less from my main and did some on an alt. Now, I'll be honest, I'm a bit confused about this message. People contacted me and others about donating during the Hype Train record in 2024. I think he's saying that in the same fashion that they were people harassing donators in the last one back in 2024, he didn't want to have the same issue, so he donated and wanted to make donations from that alternate account. Now, based on how I'm reading this, and again, I could be wrong, maybe I'm misunderstanding what Kronos said, but he said that he did do 100 tier 1s on his personal. Now, if you have an issue with people harassing you and you end up using an alt, I would figure that you would probably send most of the donations through that alt account, but sending 100 separate tier 1 subs, or maybe they were grouped in 5s, 25, maybe did it all at once, that's still putting your name up there. That's still going to get people to message you. So, I mean, having the VOD deleted afterwards is going to solve all of it regardless, so you shouldn't have to worry about if you donated it using your personal account. The VODs have been wiped. I just wanted to make sure I went through both of his messages. I'm not trying to cherry pick here, but let's move on to how we were able to confirm that this existed in the first place. Number one, Kronos is not refuting it, but more importantly, number two, we were actually able to receive an archived VOD of this stream.
Okay, now we're cooking. I mean, I was really hooked. This video is actually pretty good. Before I forget, because I don't want to steal this guy's full video, I'm gonna make sure I drop a like. I'm gonna have to subscribe, you know, show love. I love showing love to YouTubers, especially YouTubers that I like, which isn't many. Okay, I could count on my hand the YouTubers that I actually fuck with and that I like. But W video so far, and shout out to Quintillo for actually doing the research, for getting the scoop, for getting the info, especially if the person you're trying to get the answers from isn't being as direct or as transparent as you want them to be. But we got it. We got the files. This is probably more important than the fucking Epstein files at this point, which we still haven't got, by the way. And at this rate, we're never gonna get him, but we get the closest thing possible. We get the pirate software files.
About to show you guys an archived VOD of this exact stream where we're able to prove that those leaked DMs showed up in this stream. Now, at the time that I first showed this, and the first time that I had found it in my Discord, as that's where it was sent in, I didn't know who had archived this, but I want to give credit to the individual who had this archived VOD, and that is Scorpion from MK on Kiwi Farms. And I want to apologize that I did not know this going into my stream. Again, you deserve full credit for this, and I genuinely really appreciate that you had this VOD. Otherwise, we wouldn't have this solid proof to back up this screenshot that we had found, so thank you. Here it is in all of its glory. It is 11 hours and 59 minutes and 57 seconds. To the best of my knowledge, this stream was 12 hours long. So they usually do that 11-hour 55 cut, so we have the entire thing, and it's not super relevant to be missing those last couple of minutes because we have everything we need here. As a matter of fact, if I go ahead and jump over here to 7:26, we're gonna see exactly what I'm talking about.
I wished I could place my head between them and go full burr mode and make...
What?
So this is him pulling it up on stream here, and I'll just go ahead and let the rest of it play, as you guys will see that this is indeed pirate software. You can see his messages between Kronos, the ones that we were just showing you, and then you're going to watch him go ahead and delete the text-to-speech that he just heard.
What? What is this? Where is it? I'm gonna find this. I need to find your message. God damn it, click. Click, you garbage machine. What? Who are you? Why are you like this? Number 420. Deleted. Jesus Christ.
Now, number one, as far as I'm concerned, I think that's aptly proving that, yes, this is indeed pirate software. He's going through, he deleted the text-to speech, you heard him talking about it, and he had the authority to delete that.
Sorry, I know this is all very important, and we need to get to the bottom of things. But why the fuck is he dressed as a banana? Why did I say it like that? Banana, like I'm a fucking robot. Give me a banana in my mouth right now. Give me that Lizzie. I'm actually so retarded. All kidding aside, I mean, this is 4K. They got you in 4K, little bro. I don't know what else to say. Dressed as a banana and getting caught cheating is, it's bad. It is not a very good look, Mr. Pirate Software. As a matter of fact, this makes me unlike you. Like everything else you've done, sure, it was bad, but this is where I draw the line.
Message. Now, the other thing I found interesting about this little chain of events here is that he quickly switches to a different DM after he realizes that this is on screen. And that happens before he goes to his Discord. And he looks a bit panicked, but that again, I'm speculating here, right?
What? What is this? Where
he jumps over to this one first to, you know, clear so you guys can't see what he's saying to Kronos. And that's when he starts looking for his server.
is it? I'm gonna find this. I need to find your message.
I'm telling you guys, and I've said this for a long time, Discord and Discord servers are the end for a lot of YouTubers. It's just like a disaster waiting to happen. Legitimately 9/11 towers. And that is why I rarely use Discord and I don't have a Discord server, because it'll be literally a war zone. So I've never been a fan of Discord servers as is, but you know, this is recent 155. It's better to stay away from Discord.
So taking a look here, I just took a screenshot. It went into a Twitch stream, went to the bits, and you can actually get a 12% discount at 25,000 bits. So that puts you at a $308 price tag. Now, to make this a bit easier to understand, one of my buddies here actually created this here, so special thanks to them, but we're showing that 82%. So bit is 82% when you buy them in bulk. What he means is if you spend $308 to buy 25,000 bits, donate them, the streamer gets $250. And then of course, Twitch takes its fee, that 20% being $58, which means that $250 is the money going out, like to the streamer, and $308 is the money that you put into the system to give that $250 to the streamer. So that's how you end up getting a return on your money of 81.1.6. Now there is that 0.84%, you know, discrepancy between this 81% and 82% the Pirates are referencing, but I think that that is a safe enough margin of error when we're talking about this. But all of that math is to show that this 82% return when you buy them in bulk is referencing that they are receiving 82% of the funds that are used in these donations, meaning that 82% is going to Pirate Software, which would then in turn, and I think the only reason Pirate Software is talking about this return is because that money would be going back to Kronos. So not only would he be able to donate to this hype train and help it out, which he literally admits to, as we see in these messages here. Right down here, he says, did 50K bits at 20 seconds left. But they're also trying to save as much overhead as possible and get it back to Kronos without bleeding as much money. Now, I'm sure there's a potential for another reason for them to have been talking in this way. That is my best guess based on the information that I was able to pull about the bits, percentage of what goes to the creator, what ends up going to Twitch. Interested to hear what you guys think if anyone understands these systems a bit better.
Okay, so here's my normie opinion of this, right? I'm not an expert. I'm not saying this is exactly what happened, okay? It does look a bit sus. It does look a bit weird. My thing here is this ban worthy? Could this be considered fraud? And if he is indeed breaking TOS, I think he should definitely be banned. I mean, I think he should be banned for all of his stupid ass takes he's had. But I think this is like a legitimately reason why he should be banned from Twitch. It's a very bad look, no matter how you flip it.
All going into their pockets, although that's the main reason, but they do also just want to respect the viewers that have sent their money in. But now let's talk about that Twitch terms of service and if this is breaching that terms of service. Now this hinges on the hypothesis that Kronos is getting paid back by Pirate through these bit donations that he did. And he did 75,000 bits in total, so $750. Now, of course, there was a little bit less due to that 12% discount, but that's the ballpark here. And again, reached out to see if someone from Twitch can actually better clarify if any terms of service were broken. So at this moment, this is all just speculation and I don't have any other confirmation. Now, what I'm showing you guys here is from Twitch's legal Bits Acceptable Use Policy. Now, I'm just going to read the title of this area that I'm going to be reading from. Bits cannot be directly exchanged for items or services of value. Now, that specifically directly exchanged is a bit, you know, convoluted here since it's going directly to the stream, but then supposedly, potentially, Kronos will be getting paid back. The front line reads, don't engage in an exchange of bits for items or services that typically are associated with a cost or value. Communities can gather to achieve a goal that unlocks a benefit or experience for the community, explained further below. Creators can announce benefits in response to individual cheers. However, in each of those scenarios, the activity does not provide a return of anything of value. And down here explicitly, it says, now the don'ts that constitute violations of this policy. Don't solicit bits in exchange for money or donations, and don't request money or donations for bits. Now, this doesn't work because Pirate is not saying, hey, we're, giving you guys money if you give me bits. And it's also not Kronos requesting money for those donations. But if we come down here, we can see this specific point here: selling, offering to sell, trading, bartering, or transferring bits to other users of Twitch in exchange for real or virtual currencies. Now this, we could make the argument that the selling, or I should say offering to sell or transferring bits to other users of Twitch in exchange for real currency would be the equivalent of Kronos donating those bits to Pirate's stream, knowing that he's getting this, as we talked about, that 82% return. Or I should say that that 82% return is going to Pirate. That assumption being that this return of 82% is for Pirate so that he can get it back to him and lower their overhead costs. Now again, there is nothing directly stating outright you cannot, as like a moderator or an employee for a streamer, donate bits to, get that money back afterwards. But there's no specific ruling on that, or not.
I mean, there's not a specific written rule for that. It's still weird. I mean, you still low-key kind of lied, right? Once again, I'm not claiming to be an expert on Twitch or an expert about bits or all of this. I'm just some normie. This is just a normie take, okay? I don't have a lot. Well, from time to time, depends. But, this is a normie take from someone that's very off Twitch, if you will. From an outsider's point of view, it looks weird. It's cringe. It's pathetic. I don't see the appeal of doing this, especially when you were already doing great. That's my whole thing. And if it was indeed to break a record or, go to level 106 or whatever the fuck it was, it's like, you did cheat. You know what I mean? Like, if we just take the situation as is right now, all the records he broke, he cheated. And I don't care that he got to level 105 solo. Like, bro needed an extra boost to hit that 106 or 117 or whatever the fuck the record was. So it's still a bad look.
At least that I've seen from the research that I've put together, or that any research with people that I have worked with making this video have found themselves. Now, other examples of this Twitch terms of service potentially being broken here has to come from spam, scams, and other malicious conduct. And listed below in, for example, you may not, it includes this part here about engage in viewership tampering, such as artificially inflating follow or live viewer stats. Now, my expert armchair analysis, I would look at that and go, okay, well, they were seemingly based off of, Kronos directly saying, I added those 50k bits with 20 seconds left. It sounds like he is artificially, with coordination from Pirate Software, keeping the hype train going, which may look like natural engagement, which may incentivize other people to donate to the hype train.
Yeah, exactly. That's just what I was thinking. It is literally that. It's just to extend the hype train, and then people are gonna see that they're gonna be like, well, I don't want the train to end. I don't want the hype train to end. So now I'm gonna send in my donation. And it's just a snowball effect at that point. I don't know. I don't like cheaters. I'm not a fan of people that cheat, especially when it's stuff like this, man. It just pisses me off. This, and then like the whole Dream cheating drama, which I'm not too familiar with, but all of that fun stuff. It's like, why do that? I don't get people that cheat in games. I think that's stupid. And if you're also cheating on Twitch, so the hype train doesn't end and you could break the record until it gets broken. It just, I don't know, man. I don't like those people. There's something wrong with them. That's like the only thing they have of substance. So not a fan.
Because they want to build it up, because there is a potential that they unlock this emote or they unlock other rewards in the progression of leveling up this hype train. I think this might also contribute to the cheat the Twitch reward system, in which case I think maybe you could make that argument, but at the same time, the alternate account that he would have been donating these bits on wouldn't really be cheating that Twitch reward system, since he would be receiving the rewards from it. Again, that's more like incentivizing other people that would naturally donate. They would be more likely to donate if you were getting closer to one of those goals.
All right, let's answer the $20 billion question here. Do I think he's gonna get banned? No. Twitch banning someone? No, never. Hopefully I'm wrong if this all turns out to be real. I highly doubt it. And this is him speaking to a lawyer.
Pirate Software might have a different contract with Twitch that would supersede the terms of service that would typically apply as a blanket for most people that are streaming on Twitch.
There's another layer here too, right? Okay. So there's the terms of service that most of us are going to have available to us. But someone like him, he may have a different terms of service that we don't get to see. He may have a separate individual contract. He could have a separate written agreement that says literally on it, Twitch terms of service are superseded by our written agreement. Thusly, you may only think you may think, and Twitch may allow you to think, because that seems more fair. It seems like more fair for gamers if the rules are all the same for everybody. But no, they don't have to tell you that. Nobody has to tell you that. So he has. And I would be kind of surprised, actually, if he didn't have a separate agreement that said those terms of service do not apply except to this extent, or superseded except to this. I mean, if I were him, I would want to have a separate agreement, and his agreement it's possible. Who knows? We don't know what his contract is. We could talk theoretically about what Twitch's terms of service, how it would apply if it applies to him, but we honestly don't know. And that kind of thing is not that uncommon in the real business world. Like in when it comes to real business and you're dealing with real large amounts of money, people have individual there's contracts of adhesion.
Now, the last thing that I want to bring up for this video has to do with the potential defense that I see coming out, because I saw this YouTube short talking about how Pirate at the start of each month will donate a bunch of subs to his community.
Monthly ruse will happen every first of the month from now on. You see, Twitch is paying me a lot of money to run ads. I've accepted this deal, but I hate ads. So how do we fix this? I take half of this money, and I turn it into tier 1 subs for you, which is over 200 subs, and then I gift those to the community. So all the people that get those 200 plus subs don't have any ads for the entire month. But since I gifted half of this, 39% of a tier 1 sub comes back to me, and Twitch still pays me a bunch of money on top of that, so I actually make about $1,700, which is more money than I make in a month normally. And also, none of you get to watch ads.
Now, my first rebuttal to this is the fact that it is 200 tier 1 subs coming from Pirate Software. He's saying that he would be gifting that to his community. So number one, we know that Kronos is the one that is dropping these subs. Okay, well, maybe it is Kronos that's dispersing these. Okay, well, if we go back to this DM communication between the two of them, we're going to see that he says that he donated 100 tier 1s on his personal, but they were talking about focusing on either doing bit donations or tier 3s, since those might be better. Bits being 82% return. So we know that the goal of this isn't what's being referenced in the short. It's not to do a bunch of those tier 1 subs at the beginning of the month to help people not watch ads. This clearly is intentionally in reference to keeping the hype train alive, as you see down here with the did 50k bits at 20 seconds left. I just wanted to include that because there was some chat in my Discord about that specifically, and at first when I watched it, thought it was a good point, but then after looking back at the DMs, I'm very hesitant to believe that it had anything to do with the messages that we just went through. But I'm interested to hear what your guys'
All right, Census closing statement. I'm a normie. Like I said, I'm not saying, I'm an expert or I'm a lawyer or I got all of this. I'm just a YN, reacting to this video because I am a little bit into the Pirate Software lore. I've watched videos. I made my own video about the situation, and I saw this someone recommended, and I was like, 104K. So I had to come on here and talk to you guys, and I don't know, it's fun. Looking forward to what Pirate Software says, how he responds to this. But if I may, before we go, and of course, I'm sure everyone here already dropped a like, they shared this video with their mom, their dad, and they also subscribe with notifications on. Now that that's out of the way, I want to get to the $1 million question here. Truth be told, I don't care about any of this, but what I do care about is, why does he fake his voice? Why does he use a voice filter? Why? Pirate Software, if you're watching, hop on my DMs on Twitter or Instagram, and please tell me why you use a voice filter as a 60-year-old man. Okay, well, he's not 60, but you know what I mean. He's way too old to be doing a fucking voice filter. Anyways, with that said, I am out. Time to go to bed. See ya.